Okay, let's talk about how the Unity 2020 plan works. So, this is coming straight from Articles of Unity. If you go to their About page, you will see it say that we, the people, let me get it up. Okay. We, the people, draft 2 candidates, one from the center left, one from the center right, just as we were saying earlier. Once elected, they agree to govern as a team. All decisions and appointments will be made jointly in the interests of the American public. Only when they cannot reach agreement or when a decision does not allow for consultation does the president decide independently. A coin flip determines which candidate runs at the top of the ticket. Candidates must meet the 3 criteria of being patriotic, highly capable, and courageous. Now, how we determine those, the measures of those criteria is obviously a not entirely objective measure, something that we may want to address later on in the strengths and weaknesses of this plan. However, I think it's fair to say that most people would vote that anyone outside of the current candidates might have these, but I don't think that that's necessarily across the board. After 4 years in office, the order reverses for the next election. This continues until the American public chooses an alternative administration or one of the members of the team cannot run for re-election, at which point a new patriot would replace them. So, as we were saying before, this is a plan that is meant to replace the current instantiation of our government with a two-party, what is called a duopoly, a two-party, not monopoly, but duopoly, if you didn't get the reference, two-party system that is basically full of pandering, corrupt elites, and that we're replacing that one-person presidency with a two-person presidency were this to go through and work. The considered candidates are Andrew Yang and William H. McRaven, who was a former U.S. Navy admiral, by the way. And they are not the only candidates under consideration. They're not the promised candidates. The Unity 2020 Project has made it very clear that they do not wish to promise specific candidates because we need to first get enough backing behind the plan itself. You can see, however, if you go to change.org here in the link below, a petition for drafting Andrew Yang and Admiral William McRaven, that 4,062 more people are joining now, trying to reach 5,000 people are certainly in favor of the Yang-McRaven duo. So there's a lot of, you might notice a lot of pressure on especially McRaven, since Yang had already run and considered the position before, and people would like to think would reconsider it again given the opportunity. The pressure is primarily on William McRaven to consider this option for running. So what does this rely on? It relies on what is being called a groundswell, a sheer popular demand by force for ballot access in order for this to work. And one of the primary means of doing so is through social media, and other communication strategies. But what's interesting about social media is it could be argued that a lot of the extremeness of the duopoly, at least in recent years of it, has been probably in part exacerbated by social media. So it would be very interesting to see social media, having done its damage, now possibly be one of the things that actually saves us if this ends up being a good option, of course. Social media, though, of course, is finicky stuff, but it's one of the primary ways that in such a short amount of time, starting just a few weeks ago, that people believe this is possible because of the upward trend and virality of certain movements on social media.